Hey kids, did you ever need to use a capo? Perhaps you needed to play something in the funky key of A flat. Oy. Okay, so that's a good reason to use a capo. So today I'm going to talk about how to use capos, how they are devised, different mechanisms of capos, and how to use them most effectively so that you'll sound the most in tune. Okay, so here's a couple of different capos. This is a Kaiser capo and it's spring based. And this is a G7th capo and it's ratchet based. And this is a Page capo and it has a screw mechanism. They're all great. This Kaiser capo is spring based. I refer to any spring based capo as a meathead capo because it just squeezes. Squeeze, squeeze. It doesn't know how much it's squeezing. So because it doesn't have a brain, you have to do the thinking for it. But also, like a good meathead, it hangs around, which is awesome. This is state-of-the-art capo 1991, give or take it. Okay, this is a G7th capo, and it has a ratchet mechanism, which is very clever. And so that you can squeeze it shut a little bit, and then it remembers how much you've squeezed it. So, and then you can release it with this little release button over here, and it opens back up. I'm not really showing that very well, but if I have two hands to do it, you can close it like this, and then it stays that way. And then you close it a little more, and you open it up. Okay, so I refer to capos like this one, or the Page that's currently on my guitar, excuse me, right there, because this has a screw mechanism, as clever capos, because clever capos have a little mechanism in them that is adjustable, hence they do a little thinking on their own. Okay, because so many people have this capo, I want to talk about this one first and how to work with meathead capos so that they don't destroy the tuning of your guitar. They're still going to do that, but we're going to do the best we can. Okay, so now say goodbye to my face. Okay, so when you're applying a meathead capo such as this one, you have to take great care when you're doing it. And so first you want to start with a guitar that's in tune. So you've tuned to your tuner, and then let's say we want to put the capo right here at the first fret. Okay. So the trick is if you put the capo behind the fret like that, too far behind the fret like that, what's going to happen is, and I think I can show this. I think I can show it. Maybe. What happens is it pushes the strings down. I'm not having a good time showing that. But what happens is it pushes the strings down too far behind the fret so that it stretches them and it pulls them out of tune disproportionately. So what you have to do, what I find is the best technique for the meathead capo, is to actually put a portion of the capo on the fret. Now you'll notice, oh, can I do this? Will it focus? Focus, focus, focus. Right there. You'll notice that the pad on the capo is actually kind of trapezoidal shaped, so it's a little bit narrower than the metal part of the capo. I'm having a hard time getting it to actually focus on that, so you can see that there a little bit. I should have chosen a capo that was a little bit, you can see in there. So you need to get a little bit of the rubber pad right on the back half of the fret so that it doesn't squeeze down too much. So it'll appear from looking over it, actually, that it's over the fret. And I can't look in the camera and try to do this. So what you'll see me doing is I'll go like, oh, if I'm putting a capo on a guitar like this, I'll look down like this. And you see I'm squeezing this open, and I'm just delicately putting the rubber part of the capo just so that it meets the string right where the string crosses over the fret. You don't want it too far forward or it'll mute the string. That's okay. And you can possibly bias this end of it back away just a little bit because this end is not pushing as hard as this end. This end is squeezing a little bit harder than that because of the physics of the clamp. So, and you'll find that'll prevent most of the worst effects of having that capo stretch too hard. It still sounds to me like this string is a little too sharp, so what I'll actually do is I'll just stretch that string a little bit. And by doing that, still sounds like the B string's a little sharp to me, so I'm going to stretch that too a little bit. Now it's really out. So, okay. This one's a little bit flat now, so I'll bring it back up. Oops, too far. You can use your tuner to do this. Just keep in mind you'll be tuning a half step sharp of standard tuning. You may find, and I would recommend doing that with your capo, just learning what it tends to do when you put the capo on your guitar. Oh, does it push, which strings does it push sharp? Depending upon the curvature of your fretboard, it may affect different strings differently. And while I'm on that subject, they make capos that are manufactured for different curvatures of fretboard. So that's something to keep in mind. I'm not going to go into that in detail right here. So that's how I would do that with something like this capo, is that I would just take the time to place it very carefully. Oh, and the one thing that I should mention is that as I place it, I actually put the rubber part down on where I want it to place, and then I release the clamp so that I've actually got the capo in place, and I'm not like letting the clamp squeeze and then wiggling it around, because it'll pull the strings around, and I don't want to do that. And you'll get fairly decent results with that. A little bit better in terms of the technology, in my opinion. This is my favorite capo I've encountered in a long time. This is the Page. This is the Page click release capo. I actually like the original one a little bit better. But what's nice about the Page is that it also hangs around. It's very small and light, so you can just leave it on the guitar all the time. I don't have it tightly wound here, or really tightened up. It's just very loose there. So, but if I wanted to use it on the first fret, again, I would put it right behind the fret here, and just tighten it when it stops buzzing, and you get pretty good results right off the bat. I'm gonna go close the window because the people are mowing the lawn next door apparently. You can say hello to the cat while I'm over here. Hi, cat. He's not happy about the closed window. Definitely not. Okay. So, better. And there you go. So now your G chord becomes an A flat chord, and your C chord becomes a D flat chord, and that was a C chord, becomes a D flat chord, and your D chord becomes an E flat chord. So now you can play in all those odd horn keys with your just crazy cowboy chords. Okay, there you go. That's how to use a capo. Let me know if you have any questions in the comments. And please subscribe. And remember, if you're on time and in tune, you're okay.